Okay, today I'm gonna walk through the process of how to install OBS Studio. Okay, the first thing you want to do is open up your browser. And from the browser, we're going to go to the site OBS Studio. Well, it's obsproject.com. And from obsproject.com, you're going to download the application. And for this exercise, we're going to be using the Windows version. So again, the site is obsproject.com, and click on Windows for the download. And on my screen, it appears at the bottom. And I just open it up, open when done. Okay, a little pop-up window comes up, and it'll walk you through the actual installation. You'll go through, I agree, and you can accept the default location where it's going to install. And you go next, and then you click on install. Okay, once you open up OBS, your screen will look something like this, where everything is bare. Not a problem. There's another tool that we also want to download, and it's going to be called the virtual camera. So again, let's go ahead and open up your browser again. And you're going to search for OBS virtual camera. Okay. And when you find it, OBS Virtual Cam, you're going to go ahead and open that up. And from here, you're going to download again, and just follow this the scripts. Okay, accept that, and then you just click on download. And on mine, on the bottom, it opens up, and you say open. And you just go through the prompts as they come on, such as I agree, and then next. And you walk through and you do the actual install and let it do its installation. Now, once you're finished with the installation, if everything goes correct, then you should be able to look under Tools, and you'll see that the virtual cam is now there. Okay, let's go ahead now and start setting up your first scenario. Okay, now the screen is here. On the left side is where all the scenes, you'll create your scenes. For each scene, you'll have different sources that are associated with it. For instance, the first thing I want to do is I want to bring my camera in on the screen. So I'll press the plus, and it gives you a list of the different things you can bring in. And the first thing I want to bring is a video capture device. That's going to be my webcam. So I click on video capture device. You can either leave the default name up there, or you can give it another name. From this demonstration, I'm going to just call it webcam. And then you say OK. And now, once you do that, you'll see that your device will come up here. And if that's not the right device, just hit the down arrow up here, and you'll see all the different capture devices that you have on your computer. So I'm going to leave mine at the Logitech. Everything else you can just pretty much leave as the defaults and just say OK. Alright, so here's my picture. I'm going to drag my picture down. You'll notice that the green screen behind me is green. What I need to do is I now need to provision that green screen so it'll kind of get rid of the green out behind me. So to do that, I go to my webcam and I right click and I select filters. From the filters, what I want to do is I want to now start adding in the different effects. So you press the plus. The first thing is the chroma key. That's going to tell it how to make the background. Chroma key, say OK. You'll notice now the back of the screen is grayed. See, because the green will now become transparent. You can also, if you have, if it doesn't look smooth, you can start adjusting some of your filters here, such as, the similarity. And this tells you like the similarity as far as how much green there should be back there. For mine, I'm going to leave it about right here. And therefore, you can see along the edges, you don't see that green. Whereas if I left it too far to this side, you can see the whole green screen. So slide your similarity to get to where you want. Then if you still have issues, you can then use your smoothness to kind of round things off to get it nice and crisp. About right there. That looks good. Okay. And then the other things you really don't need to mess with. They should be pretty much standard. You just then select close. Now, as you can see, now I blend in with the background. The next thing you want to do is I want to add to this an image. I'll put an image in my background. So I can click on the plus key, and then I can tell it image. For this image, I'm going to use an office. I'm going to put an office setting behind me. So I'll call this office. And then I say OK. Then it comes up for me to browse my computer and find the scene I want to add to the background. And I'll click on Browse. Now, for mine, let me go to my drive where I have all my OBS stuff at. And again, you can put your images and all that kind of stuff in any location you want. Just remember where you put it. So for mine, I'll then go with backgrounds. And I can see all the different backgrounds I have there. The one I'm going to use for this demonstration is going to be the office. I like this one right here. That's the office I'm going to use for right now. And I'll say OK. Now, you'll notice the one thing I want to do is I want to stretch this office out or move it around a little bit because it's not quite the right size. So I can get the sides of it. Well, I can right click and I can select on transform, and then I could tell it to fit to screen. There we go. So therefore it's a lot smaller. Or I could have just said go to transform, and I could say stretch to screen, which I like much better. Therefore I have the full office in there. Now the problem is you can't see me. The reason being, if you look into your sources, it says first on the top put the office, and then underneath it put that webcam. I want to move that webcam up, so I click on the webcam, and then I use the up arrow, the up caret on the bottom, and I say move it up. Then I could now grab the anchor and I could resize it so that I'm there a little bigger. Now the other thing you want to be careful of is sometimes you don't want to accidentally, like I don't want to accidentally move myself around. So what I could do is I could lock this in place by using these little locks in the front of whatever the item is. So I lock the webcam, so you see I can't move myself. I'm locked into place. And then I could have also locked the background so I don't accidentally move that background. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to unlock the webcam, and I'm going to move myself a little more to the left. There you go. Now, that's how simple it is in order to set up your green screen. The next thing you want to do is, this is where the virtual cam comes into place. If I want to use another application like Zoom, and I wanted to take the feed coming in from OBS, then I can select virtual cam, and I can then say start. Now, that means now that the it's now pushing information out through what's considered the virtual camera. Next, I can then now go into Zoom. So let me bring up my Zoom. Now, one thing you gotta be very careful of is Zoom tries to use its own camera. I want Zoom to use my virtual camera as it's coming in. So before I even start the video or start my my video camera within Zoom, I'll go over here to settings. And then from settings, I'll go to video. And when the video comes up, you'll notice by default, it was going to use my Logitech Brio camera. Instead, I wanted to use the OBS camera. So as you can see, this feed is coming in from is really coming in from OBS. And then I could close it there. And now I could start. And as you can see now, what you're looking at now is the video coming in to Zoom via OBS. Okay, so let me get out of that. Now, that's it was just a quick demonstration as far as the benefits of using that virtual camera. Another thing that you can do is you'll notice that typically within Zoom, you can't have videos in the background. Suppose you wanted to put a video in the background of this particular scene. Well, to do that, all I have to do is press the plus to add another resource, and I'll say media source. When you're using a media source is like a video. So I'll come up here and I'll say, what about US flag? I want to add a video of a flag in the background. So I can say OK. It now prompts me for the to browse the location. And again, I'll go back to where I have all my OBS stuff. And I'll just have to select the flag. And right here I have a video that I've just downloaded. It's called it's an MP4 video file, and I'll select that. Now, the one thing I can do is, because that video for that US flag is only a 5-minute long video. So if I select a loop right here, then I can take this video and have it just continually loop in the background. And I just select OK. Now, what I can also do is, now we'll say, suppose I don't want this to save resources. I don't want this background behind there. So instead, what I can do is the little eye that you see in front of these, this is where you can turn something off. I'm going to turn off the office. See, there's no office behind there anymore. It's just the US flag, which right now is on top, and the webcam. Now, I take my video file. I can open it up. The next thing I want to do is the US flag's on top. Let me move that US flag down one, so my video's on top of the flag. So as you can see, the webcam is on the front, on the top, then comes the US flag. I'm gonna lock the flag in place. Now I can continue on having any type of tutorial or whatever I wanted to do. If I wanted to record, over here on the side where it says start recording, I could click there to start the recording. If I wanted to stream, I could start a stream over here as well. So, but for right now, what I want to do is, suppose I want to just put some text on top of that flag. Then all I have to do is, now I'm going to add another resource in the sources. And I've got an image that I'm going to place on top of there. And that image is going to be University of Fairfax. And I'll just say OK. And again, just browse my computer to find the image. And again, I just left it under the same directory with all my other OBS stuff. And I select the image. And then I say OK. The image comes up. I can just drag it over. Resize it a little bit. And there you go. Now I have a background with a US flag, an image on top of that video, that media source that says University of Fairfax, and I'm taking information from my webcam. I'm pulling the data in from my webcam. Again, using OBS, it has lots of features and it's very flexible as far as different things you can add. I would highly encourage you to go out on the internet and search for other YouTube videos on OBS to find out more features and functionality you can do with this software. One last thing I'll do before we conclude this video is I want to show you about up here under Tools to Auto Configure Wizard. In order, especially if you want to make sure you have your system as tuned as possible for OBS based on your hardware settings, go up to Tools and it says Auto Configuration Wizard. Click that. The next thing it'll ask you is, do you want to optimize your settings right now for streaming and then secondary as recording, or primarily just for recording? For this one, I'm going to say just for recording. And I'll say next. It will come up with suggestions as far as settings and stuff, as far as for the base resolution, how many frames per second. And you say next. And now this is what it came up as a recommendation, and you just say apply settings. It'll go through, it'll do a quick little scan, and it'll apply those settings that you just selected. Okay? And again, if you wanted to now take this and you want to make a recording, all you got to do is click right here where it says start recording. And then you can, the recording is going. And all you have to do is you could see it right here on the bottom. You'll see where it says recording. So it's in 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 12 seconds. That's how much recording time you've already used. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and I'll say stop recording. And then if I wanted to actually get that file that I just recorded, I'll come up to where it says file and where it says show recordings. And these are the recordings that I already have in here. And it's by date and time. Okay. Now, as you know, today is August the 12th, and here's the one I just did. Lord, I ask. Okay, that should conclude everything we've done with this video.